Today's project is to test out JACO Superior Products tire pressure gauges. They have sent me 3 different gauges here. Let me adjust this for a little more light there. They have sent me 3 different gauges to test out. We have their ElitePro gauge, which is the 0 to 100 psi with a 2-inch dial. They sent me the regular ElitePro tire gauge, which is 0 to 60 psi with a 2-inch dial. Actually, they all have a 2-inch dial. And then just the Elite tire pressure gauge, which is the smaller, more portable version. And what these are marketed as is a higher end, more accurate pressure gauge, especially if you're driving a high-end car such as a Tesla. I like keeping my tires at exact pressure. I mean, you can really tell the difference on a Tesla between 45 psi and 50 psi. 45 is squirrely, you feel like you're all over the road, and 50 is like driving the dream car it is. So we are going to test these out. Let's just go over some things with these gauges. The ElitePro tire gauge, they're more rugged. They have a, well, might as well open one up. And right now I'm going to be starting with the 100 psi version. Show you that off a little bit there. JACO products. It's got a swivel. Well, before we get to that, let's cover just some of the product information here. They're more rugged. Well, it says they're precise, rugged, and innovative. The ElitePro Series tire pressure gauge. Now these 2 big boxes are both the ElitePro. It's just this one goes up to 100 psi. They are calibrated to ANSI grade B40.1 accuracy standards, ensuring quick and accurate tire pressure readings with each use. So basically what that's saying is these are calibrated to be as precise as possible. The dials are also glow in the dark, which that's, remember from your childhood, the toys where you hold up to the light and when you bring it back, it glows. So these have that, so you could charge it off your, say, your headlight or flashlight if you're going to be, or dome light if you're going to be checking your tire pressure at night, so you can see all the numbers. It has a 360-degree swivel chuck. So while this is connected up to the tire, you can swivel this to be able to, meet whatever angle you need to properly read it. It has a pressure release button. So while you are holding the chuck to the tire valve, if you need to release some pressure, you just push the side button here. Psst, psst. You get the idea. And it can release the pressure while you're watching the gauge to make sure you don't let too much out. I'm sure anybody who's filled up a tire before has been there. You put too much in and then you got to let it out, and it's like a shot in the dark. You check the pressure, then you let some out. Check the pressure, let some out. Oh crap, I let 3 pounds too much out. So then you got to fill it up again. Then you're too much. You don't have to worry about that with this. You just psst, check it, psst, check it, psst, check it, and you can tell what the pressure is. It has the protective cover. They have a nice rubberized shell all the way around except on the gauge side, so that way you drop it on the concrete and it won't, in this case, a nice breakable sheet of glass. It won't break the glass and it won't break the gauge. It's got the large, easy to read 2-inch dial and a 100% lifetime warranty. For any reason you are not satisfied, let us know and we will refund or replace your purchase. And these can be found, JACO products is JACO superior.com. So let's just compare the different models now. They do have a few other styles of gauges, but these are their most popular. And they're fairly heavy too. These are not your lightweight little Wal-Mart gauges or, heaven forbid I say it, slime gauges. Their slime tire repair kits and gauges are fairly popular. Not the best, but they're cheap. But sometimes, well, a lot of times you get what you pay for. So we have, let's put them in order of cost and functionality. All right, let's start with the small one. Well, compare all three. All three have the 2-inch dial faces. All three have the pressure release button. All three have the swivel of some sort, the small regular Elite tire pressure gauge. Only the head swivels. Now the Elite and the ElitePro tire gauge regulars only go up to 60 psi. Whereas the ElitePro 100 goes up to, of course, 100 psi. But they're all three are the same high quality gauges. And pull this down, nice sturdy construction. Now all three, the chucks are brass. Nice high quality brass, and actually the tips swivels on the ElitePro Series 2, as well as swiveling at the bottom. Now let's see, length of hose. Both ElitePros have virtually identical length hoses. Of course, the nice thing about the standard Elite tire gauge is its small size. This is something that's small enough to just toss in your toolbox or glove compartment of your vehicle. So enough about that. Why don't we go out to the car and see how accurate these buggers are. I have a digital gauge, while not high-end, but a digital gauge we can also compare them with, and we'll compare the pressures across all three gauges as well, see if they all read, well, they all should give the same pressure. But just a repeat, so far the quality level is, these are very sturdy, definitely not a Harbor Freight, Wal-Mart, or Slime brand gauges. And so let's go on and head out to the car. Okay, we are now at the car. Now I have a relatively cheap digital Campbell Hutsfield Hossfield digital tire gauge. Hasn't been the most accurate, but we'll see how it compares to the three JACOs. So let's get a baseline what this thing says. So zero it out. And we're at 51 psi for the Campbell. Let's start with the Elite series, and I'll show you another neat feature of all three of these. So what you do after you read it, you hold it for a second, take it off, and it saves the measurement in there. It'll slowly go down over time, but it'll let you get a better view of it. And to release, just press the air release button and resets. So we are at about between 50 and 51 psi. So we'll leave that, put that one down. Next we'll try the ElitePro 0 to 60 psi. Oops, my fault. I might have let a bit out of there. Well, it's slightly below 50, but that was my fault. I let some air out. Let's get another baseline then. Yep, we're down to 51 on here, and that was just a hair under 50 on this one. And now let's do the 0 to 100 ElitePro. And right at 50. So they're all showing within about 1 psi of each other, which is within an excellent margin for error. And then once again, to reset, you just hit the button and you reset and zero back out. And there you have it. Very high quality gauges, sturdy. I know I will definitely be using these a lot. Just for everything I do. I do a lot of motorcycle repair too. Well, and let me just show you what happens when you don't check your tire pressure. That happens. So do yourself a favor. Get some JACO Superior Products tire pressure gauges and make sure you don't get caught without enough air in your tire, because don't forget, an underinflated tire not only runs the risk of a blowout or a flat, but you're also burning more fuel, or in my case, sucking down more electrons out of that battery pack. And I can tell you, I neglected my tires when the pressure, or when the temperatures got cold out about 2 weeks ago. We were down in the teens, and that was enough to bring my tire pressure down to about 42 psi, and I saw about a 20% increase in power consumption on my car. So get some JACOs. The link to the product is in the description box below, as well as more of the specifics. And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, feel free to post it below. And have a great afternoon, everybody. Smile, cheese.